Nicole Yap is the founder and editor-in-chief of Asian Magazine. In 2022, she was recognized as one of Tatler Asia's most influential in technology. And Nicole launched Asian in 2021 with a vision to celebrate Asian culture within the Web3 space, growing it into a multi-million-dollar brand through collaborations with top global companies. Now, she continues to elevate the brand with the launch of Asian Magazine, aiming to position it as the Vogue of Web3. So, Nicole, great to have you here. Let's talk about the magazine. What is the mission of Asian?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for having me here in this iconic building, the New York Stock Exchange. So Asian Magazine, kind of think of it as the Vogue of Web3, where we are focusing on lifestyle, content, and fashion. Because there's a lot of products that are being built in Web3, a lot of amazing collaborations. And I saw the gap is that there is no media actually covering this type of collaborations. And being in the space for 4 years now, I saw that needs to be filled. And that's where, I took matters at our own hand, gathered a team, and that's where we launched Asian Magazine.
So this is a physical magazine. So there's a physical magazine as well as the Web3.
Yes,
so
it's a digital magazine.
So let's focus on the physical magazine for a minute. You've got some really impressive partnerships, Vogue, Uniqlo, of course, big Japanese apparel brand, and some others. Do you want to kind of show around what you've got?
Yeah, sure. So for this is a publication. So we have like Louis Vuitton here featured. They actually did a collaboration, and we also have like Tiffany & Co. NFT here that is actually not really much coverage about it, just because the traditional media, they don't really understand. It's not because they don't want to write about it, they just don't understand it enough to write about it. And that's where we came in, having this Asian magazine. We want to be a platform where we can highlight, projects like this, and also creators as well. So here we have like Randy Zuckerberg, and she's also our past advisor for Asian, and also a really famous founder of an NFT project, Azuki. So his name is Zagabond. So this is where we want to highlight, founders and spotlights in Web3. Kind of like think of it as the Forbes 30 under 30, which a lot of builders are building in Web3, but they are not being highlighted and showcased. So for Asian, we actually had a collaboration with Vogue and Uniqlo, and how we started is we actually started off as a NFT project. So the NFT project is to highlight Asian tradition and culture. So we started off as 8,000 NFT over here, and then that's where we collaborated with Uniqlo and Vogue, putting our artwork on the t-shirt and doing collaborations. But at the same time, I saw a gap. When we did a collaboration with Uniqlo, I was writing out to all the media partners and be like, hey, do you want to cover us? And they wrote back and they said, that's a cool collaboration with Uniqlo, but we don't know enough to cover you. And that's the same thing as what happened when we collaborated with Charles & Keith as well, which is a shoe apparel brand. They used to be part of LVMH. We did a collaboration with them last year in October, and same thing. No media wanted to cover us. And that's where 2 months ago, my team and I decided to just launch our own magazine. Yeah.
So you're like, we'll just cover it then.
Yeah, we're just going to do it on our own.
Right.
Yeah.
What kind of content will be in here? You mentioned you featured some entrepreneurs and things, but also there's fashion as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So for the fashion piece, like for example, over here, like just like this Louis Vuitton trunk, but you purchasing this NFT will get you a physical trunk for you to put at home. And for this Tiffany & Co. pendant, you purchasing this NFT will get you a physical CryptoPunk pendant. So that's like fashion and lifestyle. And I think this is kind of the intersection of digital and physical world. And we call it, there's a new word called Phygital.
Yes.
So it's digital plus physical.
Yeah.
And I would say that in the near future, all of the brands, they will be focusing on creating, not just selling product, but creating an experience for their customers. And that's where the Phygital concept is going to be super big in the future.
What kind of reaction have you had from some of these brands? Have they been open to the new tech, Web3?
So all of the brands that I have spoken to, they are somewhat looking into Web3 or are already in Web3. So some of the brands that are already there is like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Tiffany & Co., Dolce & Gabbana, Tommy Hilfiger, and they all have a Web3 division. They're hiring like a Web3 team just so that they can build and create like digital products for their customers. Yeah.
Where can people find the physical magazine?
So you could go to our website, action.io. So right now we just opened a subscription where you could subscribe to the magazine for $120 a year. It'll be 4 copies. So we sent to your home.
Okay. Anywhere in the world?
Yes, anywhere in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what about the Web3 content? Where can they go for that?
For the Web3 content, it's also in the website, and you could actually go to a digital link where you could read it digitally. Yeah.
So you just launched the physical magazine.
Yes,
When
2
is the
months
first,
ago.
Okay. Is the first issue out yet? Or
The first issue was out in Seoul, Korea. That was on June. And this is the second issue, which we just launched a week ago in New York.
Okay.
Yes, and the third issue is going to be in Lisbon, Portugal, on October.
How exciting. So
Yeah.
why did you choose New York for the second issue?
I think, that's where, people say that, New York is the place where, dreams do come true. And I've always wanted to have an event in New York. And I come here like twice a year, and I've never done any event. So last week was our first official event that we have done. Just like, connecting with friends and family. And just
Yeah.
like, I feel that there's also a lot of opportunities here as well. People are more like forward thinking, and they're just more open to collaboration and ideas. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a leader in publishing and
Yes, for
fashion
sure.
as well too, so that
Yes.
it fits with your brand. So what's the future then? You're going to get these new issues out, and then where do you go from there?
So my goal, that what I want to do is that I want to have the magazine on shelves next year. Yes, so I'm targeting Malaysia, Singapore first, hopefully New York. Just like I envision this to be right next to Vogue, right next to Toddler, So because we don't really have a magazine that is focusing on Web3. And that's where I want to come in big and be at the newsstands, at the shelves with the rest of the iconic magazine.
It's interesting because a lot of magazines have closed down. Do you think that's because they haven't adopted to the new technology, and that's what you're doing differently?
Yes, for sure. So when we had a collaboration with Charles & Keith, I actually hired a PR agency. I actually said that, I want to have my things written, published on the website. And they came back and they said, here's your money, we can't do it, because we can't find anyone that wants to cover it. So I would say that there is a lot of media is shutting down is because it's becoming too saturated, and they're all writing about the same thing. But if you have a different angle, writing about Web3, that's where a lot of projects that are desperate to be covered and desperate to be featured. That's where, in terms of a business model, there are people that are willing to pay for a feature. So that's where I see that there's a gap there that needs to be filled, because I was one of the projects that wanted to cover, the past collaboration that I had with Uniqlo and Charles & Keith, where nobody wanted to cover us. So that's where we came in and said that we want to make this work. And a lot of projects are reaching out to us and say, hey, we want to be a part of this. So that's a really exciting journey.
Yeah, and really interesting things going on
Yes.
in that space as well. Well, best of luck.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing it on the shelves.
Yes, hopefully next year. Yes.
Thanks so much, Nicole.
Thank you. Thank you.